the SNES blessed us with a plethora of amazing RPGs, and despite graphics and sound capabilities that pale in comparison to data behemoths like Final Fantasy XV and Xenoblade Chronicles 3, these games have withstood the test of time. When I'm feeling down and need a nostalgia boost, the SNES games are the ones I turn to. With that being said, I'm putting these games in my personal order of priority, but ultimately, all of these 7 SNES RPGs are amazing. If you haven't played them yet, they are essential to pick up. Lagoon almost didn't make this list. It's certainly my weirdest choice, and I'm not sure why I'm so obsessed with it. The premise is that Lakeland, a prosperous country brimming with life, is troubled by newly poisoned water. The hero of light, Nasser, embarks on a journey to defeat Zera. Zera? Anyway, Zera is the being responsible, and he has lifted Lagoon Castle high into the sky. I'm honestly not sure why this game captivates me. The battle system is incredibly punishing and simultaneously frustrating. Nasser primarily fights with a sword, and his sword is so short that getting hit by enemies is almost unavoidable. And the encounters are somewhat generic. Most enemies do one of two things. They shoot stuff or they try to run into you, or both. The game also has a unique magic system. The player finds crystals and staves that are put into a grid, and when combined, they yield a unique spell, ultimately creating 16 different spells that can be used. Even if you decide not to play this game, at least give the soundtrack a listen. It's a 1990s MIDI masterpiece. One of the best parts of this game is the ending, and while I won't spoil it here, suffice it to say that it is incredibly surprising. This game is a diamond in the rough, but it's definitely worth giving a shot despite its flaws. Soul Blazer, published by Quintet and released initially as Soul Blader in Japan, precedes another game that we'll talk about a little bit later. The game's main premise is that the evil being Death Toll has sealed away the souls of all the world's living creatures. The main character is sent down from heaven to defeat monsters and open portals to liberate the world's inhabitants. Once released, they can interact with the player, opening up new pathways. What captivated me about this game, and the reason it made the list, is its unique battle system. The very first soul released by the player is another being sent to Earth by the Master. This character orbits the player, simultaneously illuminating dark areas and, more importantly, casting spells. His presence adds difficulty to the game, as all magic comes from him and not the player. Progression in this game is reasonably linear, but each released soul adds new life to the world, leading to a vibrant and dynamic feel. And the small amount of necessary backtracking in the game feels meaningful. Destroying previously impervious enemies is incredibly satisfying. It's definitely a worthwhile game to play, and it holds up to its contemporary competition quite well. Secret of Mana is one of my favorite games in existence. In the distant past, humanity created the Mana Fortress, a flying battleship. This angered the gods of the world, who sent the Mana Beast to destroy it. However, humanity never learns its lesson, and the Empire now seeks to use the Mana Seeds to revive the Mana Fortress. The main character in the game, Randy, completely unknowing of this plot, finds the Mana Sword in the woods near his house. Upon drawing it, monsters invade the area and he is exiled. He subsequently learns of the Empire's plot, and he and his allies attempt to stop them. The battle system is relatively simple by contemporary standards, but it felt incredibly unique when I first played it. 3 characters, a boy, a girl, and a sprite, participate in a real-time battle system. Each can choose from one of 8 weapons, with the sprite and the girl learning unique magic spells as the game progresses. But more importantly, this game is the first I can remember that allowed for 3-player combat, although it required a special attachment to the SNES. Also, weapon-based combat in this game has a unique and engaging mechanic. In other action RPGs of its time, weapons could be used without limit, but in this game, an independent charge meter is used, allowing characters to strike more strongly with their weapon if it's completely charged. While this limitation can be somewhat slowing, it does allow the player to make unique choices. You can choose to do more damage in a single strike or stun lock enemies by attacking rapidly. The game has aged incredibly gracefully, and while there is a remake, remaster, not sure really which one it is, on the PlayStation, the journey to defeat the Empire along with the fluid real-time battles make this game one of my favorites, and one that is an essential playthrough for any avid gamer. I recommend playing the original by any means necessary, ideally with a couple of friends. That will let you experience the battle system in all its glory. By the way, if you're enjoying this video so far, please hit the like button so that more people can learn about these amazing RPGs. The algorithm is fickle and literally only you can help. Thank you so much. Another game that often tops best game lists, Final Fantasy VI competes with 8 for my favorite in the series. That's probably a controversial statement, but hear me out. Final Fantasy VI features an ensemble cast of 14 permanent playable characters. Each has a unique ability, and all are ultimately capable of learning magic through a system that I cannot reveal as it would spoil a big part of the plot. This broad customization, along with the story, which I will discuss in just a minute, leads the game to be incredibly engaging, and it requires the player to switch around equipment to learn new spells and complete the magic list for each character. But what truly sets Final Fantasy VI apart is the story. Initially, the party's main goal seems to fight the Empire's rise to power, but about halfway through the game, the overall party goal shifts to reveal one of the most evil villains in any RPG. I won't give it away, but suffice it to say that to call Kefka a psychopath is an understatement. Oh, you'll understand when you play. While the difficulty curve of the game isn't excessive, it provides some tremendous challenges, particularly later in the game in its many side quests, almost all of which provide worthwhile rewards, including useful and unique characters and game-breaking equipment. If you haven't played this one yet, I'm not sure what you're waiting for. The time is now. Illusion of Gaia is unlike any game I've ever played. This is the sequel to Soul Blazer, which I talked about earlier in this list. The game follows Will, a seemingly random youth whose father disappeared many years ago while exploring the Tower of Babel. On an average school day, he stumbles into a dark space and encounters Gaia, a mysterious being who tells him of a huge comet's approach. He travels the world to collect the all-powerful mystic statues. Along the way, Gaia gives him the ability to transform into Frieden and Shadow, ancient warriors who increase Will's battle power and help him solve puzzles to progress in the game. As a child, this game gave me nightmares, but as an adult, it's an amazing game to revisit. The real-time battle system, along with the unique abilities each transformation provides, makes this game incredibly satisfying. Battle and puzzle solving are unified, and this engaging gameplay is bolstered by the story, which takes the player not only to high fantasy locations, but also to real-world locations, like the Great Wall of China, the pyramids, and Angkor Wat. These locations create incredible immersion, and as a child who had never traveled out of the country, they were a link to places I could only imagine. If you haven't played this game, you owe it to yourself to find it and play the hell out of it. The ending of this game made me cry, not only because of the plot, but also because of the amazing music composed by Yasuhiro Kawasaki. This is his most notable project. Go get this game, emulate it, buy a SNES, I don't care how you have to do it. Just get it, play it. It's worth it. Chrono Trigger was the first game that I pleaded with my parents to buy. In fact, we bought it from our local Blockbuster because we couldn't find it in stores. And in case you don't know, Blockbuster was a... never mind. Go ask your grandparents.
Wow! Wow! Wow!
The game's greatest strength is its story, a time-traveling epic that features 7 characters thrust into a quest to save the world from Lavos, a world-devouring behemoth. And each character is three-dimensional, maintaining their individuality while also recognizing the enormity of the impending final battle. The most unique part of this game, however, is its use of time travel. You can travel from the prehistoric 65 million BC to the post-apocalyptic 2300 AD, recruiting a new party member in each location, or rather player in each time, from the super strong beast woman Ayla to the sentient cyborg Robo, and your actions in the past affect what happens in the future, allowing for a dynamic setting. Furthermore, the battle system does not disappoint. Each character has a unique set of skills and spells that can be combined to form double and triple techniques, adding incredible complexity to the game and encouraging the player to try out every character to discover new abilities. If you haven't played it yet, make it a priority. You will not regret it. And now it's time for the honorable mentions. First, The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. This game would have been higher on my list, but I consider this less an RPG and more of an action-adventure. Earthbound. This game has inspired 2 characters in Super Smash Bros. And has a chilling and poignant plot, but it's a bit of a slower play. Final Fantasy Mystic Quest. I replay this game every year, but I recognize that it's an acquired taste. It has a plotting story and a repetitive battle system, though one I appreciate, and the story is similar to many other Final Fantasy games. Collect the crystals, save the world. Final Fantasy IV, another favorite, although I already have Final Fantasy VI on this list, and I frankly find the story and gameplay of this game, along with the difficulty curve, to be far less satisfying and to have aged far less well. That being said, I do intend to play Free Enterprise, the open world mod of this game, at some point. Lufia 2, Rise of the Sinistrals. This game captivated me for its overworld gameplay, reminiscent of Mystic Quest with multiple different abilities, but the battles let me down a bit. That being said, the most interesting part of this game is the Ancient Cave, a roguelike mode with 99 floors that is incredibly punishing. It forces your characters to start at level 1 and gain weapons as they progress. Because the final floor is so hard, I've never actually completed it, despite the fact that it ate hundreds of hours of my time. I initially had Super Mario RPG second on my list, but at the last second, I changed my mind. And the reason, believe it or not, is that I started replaying Paper Mario. It made me realize how much I pine for a true sequel to Super Mario RPG, and I'm not the only one. In a departure from prior Mario games, this is a JRPG with a turn-based battle system, and the cast of characters does not aim to defeat Bowser. Ultimately, the party joins with Bowser to retake his castle and save the world from Smithy, who has disrupted the Star Road and prevented the wishes of the people of the Mushroom Kingdom from being granted. The game boasts a cast of 5 unique player characters, 3 familiar and 2 new to the series, and each has a set of techniques that play to their personalities and create a vibrant battle experience. But what truly makes this game unique is action commands. Pressing a button right before an action allows the character to do more damage, and pressing it before defending allows them to avoid incoming damage. This was repeated in the Paper Mario series. In addition, the developers made this game really funny. From Mario's pantomime skills to Mallow's emotional outbursts that lead to major weather events to Mario getting bodied by an action figure, this game knew exactly what it was doing with its characters, with its story, and with its dialogue. If you haven't played this game, I can't recommend it more. I'm still hoping for a sequel almost 30 years after its release. If you think I missed something crucial, let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed this video about some of the best games in existence, please give this video a like and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.